All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is cold outside. The snow is coming down, but I've got the Sheets K-Cup coffee, so it's warming up here in the studios of CBS Radio World Headquarters in Green Tree, and he always makes me warm up when I see this guy because I think baseball and spring training, which is just weeks away. Dan Zangrilli, of course, you can hear him right now every 20 minutes, 93.7 The Fan, anchoring sports, and also throughout the Pirate season with that great Pirate broadcasting crew as well on 93.7 The Fan. Some baseball news and notes in a moment, but I want to talk some football. Steelers getting ready for Denver coming up Sunday, 4:40 Eastern. It'll be Jim Nantz and Phil Simms with the play-by-play on KDKA TV2, of course, the CBS network. But earlier, watching on the NFL network, the ex-Steeler great Ike Taylor saying all about balance, and that's exactly what they did in that wild and woolly win against Cincinnati. They threw the ball 29 times, and they ran it 30 times, total of 369 total yards, rushing the football. Toussaint and Todman, 167 yards. So hopefully more of that comes Sunday.
Yeah, and especially, I thought, the duo was obviously very good. Todman is really impressive. Shooting out of a cannon, you talk about going 0 to 60, that first step quickness like a rabbit. I was very impressed. I didn't think that they had a prayer running the football. I thought it would be solely on Ben Roethlisberger, but I think the duo is pretty dynamic. They complement each other pretty well. Mike Tomlin heaped some big-time praise in his press conference today, and certainly you could tell just by his tone, his inflection, and the actual words coming out of his mouth that the confidence is there, and I don't think that they're going to at all, dumb down the playbook, if you will, because I'm not sure if D'Angelo Williams is going to play on Sunday. Mike Tomlin basically said he's going to leave the door ajar, but right now he's, quote, on the outside looking in. So it's probably going to be another week of Toussaint and Todman to get them to the AFC Championship game.
Also wondering about Ben's shoulder and the concussion protocol for Antonio Brown, but when you look at Peyton Manning, who's been out quite a bit this year, he will get to start. He too has had a number of injuries, and they're worried about his velocity getting the ball downfield to another former Steeler, Emmanuel Sanders, and they've been pretty balanced as well. 245 yards or so they average when he starts passing, and as far as running, about 80 plus yards. So let's take a look at Denver coming up Sunday and what they bring to the table.
Their secondary is banged up as well, so their safety and their corner, they didn't practice yesterday, so I think that if you can maybe see if that's going to be an issue, a potential weakness, be it Roethlisberger or maybe Landry Jones under center, I think that you can go ahead and take a look at that. But then again, are you going to be able to get any sort of penetration against Peyton Manning? I would be hard-pressed to think that he's going to be rattled at all. Even if, there is a little rust, you would think that a veteran of Manning's ilk, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, that he'll be able to chip that off after the first series and be the Peyton Manning of old, because he had been impressive when he did come in, a couple of weeks ago into the middle of the game.
My money is on the Nutting family, and what they have done in recent years has been fantastic. But a lot of my friends are saying to me, I have a couple of cold ones from time to time. They're like, what are we going to do without Pedro Alvarez and Neil Walker, and what do we get in return, and do we have enough starting pitching? So this is what you do best. Fill in the blanks.
I think the last portion of that is most important, and that's what I'm looking for, is what are they going to do with the back end of that rotation? Because right now it's probably not as strong as they've had the last 3 years. They signed Ryan Vogelsong. He might be in the last year of his career. He's going to give it one more go. Jeff Locke has been inconsistent at best. Jonathan Neese, can Ray Searage work his magic? Right now he kind of slides into that number 3 spot of the rotation. I think you'd feel a lot more comfortable if Neese was rounding out your rotation as opposed to being your number 3 starter. As far as Alvarez is concerned, as far as Neil Walker is concerned, I'm not so much concerned about the offense. I think that they've been able to make it to the playoffs basically without a first baseman the last few years. So that's not really high on my priority list, despite John Jay. So if you look at some of those peripheral statistics, they're pretty impressive. He's a really good value play for the Pirates, in my opinion, a big on-base guy. They're going to try that experiment. At second base, you think Josh Harrison is okay. Jung Ho Gung is throwing the baseball around. There's no apparatus on the left knee after that injury. Is he ready to go by opening day? I'm not sure, but maybe by mid-April, end of April, beginning of May, as it sounds at the very latest. I think this offense is going to score the runs. It's can they prevent them, especially the back end of the starting rotation, is what I'm looking for. However they bolster the bullpens. Maybe the recipe for success, Rob, is try to patch together with that rotation the first half of the year. If you can get a 5-inning and dive from your starter, you're going to be okay. Get to a bullpen. The recipe for success the last few years has been a shutdown bullpen, or at least a big part of their recipe. I think that that's going to be really, really important How does the bullpen perform, and especially the starters? Can they find somebody out there on the market that's going to fit the mold, fit their budget? There's still a few guys out there.
Last question for Dan Zangrelli, part of the wonderful Pirate Broadcasting team on 93.7 The Fan. We know what McCutchen can do consistently year in, year out. What's the ceiling on Marte? What else can we expect him to do, if anything? I mean, he's really turning into a good ball player, but is there still more?
Yes. The raw skills, I think, are better than Andrew McCutchen's. I mean, the way that the guy just moves around on the tiptoes, and that's not, I think, sensationalistic at all. Andrew McCutchen is one of the best players to ever wear a Pirates uniform. Can Marte put it together between his ears? Can he get rid of some of the mental errors on the base paths? But right now, as it stands, Andrew McCutchen is the second best defensive outfielder in that outfield between Marte, McCutchen, and Polanco. And I've mentioned it many times the last few years on my shows that there's going to come a time, and we're almost there, where you have to make the decision in flip-flopping McCutchen and Marte. And granted, McCutchen's defensive metrics are off the charts. His closing speed is incredible. You look at the defensive runs saved. Andrew is right up there with some of the best in baseball. That's not a slight to Andrew McCutchen by any stretch of the imagination. It is a testament of the unbelievable skill set that some people have used Marte's name in the same breath as Clemente. No kidding. And I know that's high praise. You watched the man play. I didn't. But Marte is one type of special talent, and I think that we're hardly scratching the surface on the greatness that he could be.
Speaking of raw talent, Polanco, I envision a lot of this. Boy, look how far he hit that ball.
I mean, everybody talks about the Ken Griffey Jr. sweet swing. As far as a left-handed swing in the game right now, and I'm not comparing it to juniors, but boy, it's about as sweet and fluid.
How do I get one of these?
You got to know some people who know some people. As Huggy Bear said, who's robbed some people?
Folks, good night from CBS Radio World Headquarters. When do they head to spring training?
1 month from today.
Nice.